Hello, welcome to another episode of my podcast, Fitlike. I'm joined tonight by Jen Humphreys. Jen
Hello.
is a very energetic lady. She does marathons, she does lifting, she does swimming. So without any further ado, let's bring in tonight's guest, Jen Humphreys. Jen, Fitlike,
I'm really well, Lily. Thanks for having me on.
absolute pleasure. Now, originally a St Andrews girl.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm privileged to be asked to be on your podcast, seeing as I'm not from Fraserburgh.
yeah, but you live local, that's the main thing. So tell us a little bit about
Exactly.
Jen
I've been up
Humphreys.
here. Hmm?
Tell us a little bit about Jen Humphreys.
Um, so I've been up in Fraserburgh for 6 years, and taught at the academy that long. And yeah, just been running around, swimming, happy days.
Okay, you're obviously very sporty. So where did sport first start for you, Jen?
I was always a swimmer. I never used to be a runner. That's relatively recent. And yeah, so when we used to play lots of tennis and things, that used to be our thing. Um, and then the running came much later on, reasonably, kind of maybe about 10 years ago or so.
Okay, so you started running. Was it for to keep fit or for competitions or what got you involved in running and why?
I guess when I moved up, when I moved down to London from uni, it was free running. You could just get a pair of trainers and it didn't cost you anything. I was like, everything's really expensive down there, so that's why I took it up. And then when I moved up to Fraserburgh, I guess it was a case of getting to know the area because I didn't know anywhere or anybody. So you join a running club and you meet people.
Okay, so you obviously got the running bug.
Yeah, yeah, I really didn't look back.
What do you enjoy about running, Jen?
The adventure. Like I have seen so many places and trails and parts of the countryside that I would never have seen if I hadn't taken up running. Definitely, and the people as well. I think that's a huge part of it. I don't think I would enjoy running as much if it wasn't for all the people that you get to have a laugh alongside.
It's really important. It's a good social sport as well, running. And
It really is, and especially the pace I go. I'm just trotting along, having a chat.
did you tend to think running is more a solitary sort of sport?
I think so. I think definitely when I'm training for the longer runs and I'm going out at like really anti-social times in the morning, like Sunday, 6 a.m., nobody wants to join me then. But they'll join me later on and like tag in for a few miles. So that's I'm grateful for that.
So you got running, you got a competitive bug. What was the first running competition you ever entered?
Oh, first, I remember my mum signed up to the Hamburg half marathon, and I was like, I can do that. Let's go too. And it just about killed me. I was like, this is so embarrassing. I'm so unfit. So I then ran a bit more and just started doing like the local park runs and things. Um, Nothing competitive. I'm definitely not a competitive person by nature. I don't think. I'm happy to go along with wherever anybody else is running.
Okay, so you say you're not competitive, so you just run, and however long it takes you, you just enjoy yourself along the way.
That's it. I am back of the pack having a grand old time.
So you're definitely smelling the roses as you're running in.
Yeah, I mean that's it. I think if I had like really strict times and goals that I had, then fine, great, I would go for that. But the reality is, I just like being outside and running around, so I'll happily go at whatever pace. Um,
Uh-huh. So it just shows there's two ends of the spectrum for being competitive. A is being ultra competitive. B, are you out having fun and just doing your own thing and getting there eventually.
yeah, like you will get there eventually. That's the reality, isn't it? And I think that's why I like running like the ultra marathon distance. When my like friends introduced me to that, I was like, this is great. I can go really slowly. Like like it's just a case of getting there in the end. So that appealed.
So you just touched on that. There was a Glen Lyon ultra marathon you've just competed a couple of weeks ago. Is that correct?
Yeah, Glen Lyon. So we were down in like Perthshire. That was 2 weekends ago now, so I'm recovered and back.
So how long is the marathon is 26.5 miles. What's the ultra
Mhm.
marathon?
Anything above a marathon counts as an ultra. So Glen Lyon was it was around 32, maybe just over 31. And it was funny because I'd like done that distance twice before. So I was like, right, I know I can cover the distance and the training had been really well. So I was like, right, let's try and do something here. And it was so hot, I was like, no, let's just finish it.
And do you run just for enjoyment, or do you raise money for charities, or what's your persona for running?
Um, I think it's the social aspect of it. So like we'll go to the running club twice a week and like the folk there are great. You just have a laugh and then I'll run at the weekends somewhere different, somewhere exciting and kind of probably a bit more hillier off the beaten track. And then it's the
Okay.
sense of adventure.
So you get up on 6 o'clock on Sunday morning, you said. You look at the
That's
window.
the ideal time to run, Willie. That is magic.
Okay.
It's cool, it's peaceful, there's nobody about.
So you open your front door 6 o'clock on Sunday morning with rain gear on and it's lashing down with rain. What do you do? Close
You've
the
got to
door.
still go out, you've got to get it done.
Okay.
It's
Even
not a
that.
Sunday otherwise. I think, and you've got to like accept that's part of it, isn't it? Like, because whether it's snowing or running or sleet or whatever, today it was so hot. You're like, well, I enjoy it, I think.
Well, at the end of the day, if your motivation is to go and enjoy it, there's no better motivation than that, is there?
Exactly. Yeah. And you just have to remind yourself of that. So when it gets really difficult and you're like, everything hurts, you're like, I do this because I get to. Like
And the thing is, you can do it because you're fit and healthy to do it. A lot, millions of folk would love to be able to do it, I imagine.
yeah, that's and I would never take that for granted. Do you know what I mean? I think when it gets really difficult and you're struggling, you think, well, there's lots of people in a position that can't be out where I am just now. So that is something that I think is very important to be grateful for, that I'm able to go out and able to do that. So I'm very grateful for that.
How do you prepare? Do you have a specialized diets, or are you one of those people lucky you just eat what you want and run it off?
Um, oh, I mean, just like to eat. I'm sure my colleagues would say she's always eating, and I always am. Because I think when the distances get silly, I think I've probably learnt when I first started doing the longer runs, I definitely wasn't eating enough, and I was like, oh my god, why am I so exhausted?
Okay.
So eating enough is important, and then like eating when you're running, that's a whole other like like challenge. I'm like eating a single thing at a time, being like, this is gonna make me feel sick. No, it's fine.
But looking at you, you seem a lovely, bubbly, happy person. Is that you just by nature,
I think so. Yeah, I think I've always been a bit like this. Yeah.
So have you ever had any injuries while running?
Yes. When I was training for my second ultra, um, it was one of those things, where you're like trotting along, all's going well, and you just feel something snap. You're like, oh no, what is that? And I remember like walking back to the car. My mum was waiting for me. I was just like, it's the first time I've ever thought, oh God, this is awful. And that was really scary because it was like, oh, something I really enjoy doing can be taken away from you so quickly. And like you could be out, like you hear people that are out of running for years or something because of injuries and things. And that was quite scary actually, but it was fine. We recovered. It was all good.
Okay, so you never you said you do off-road running as well?
I've gotten into that way more recently. I think that's 100% what I like really enjoy.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think you end up in some like beautiful places that I wouldn't have been bothered to walk there because it'd be a really far walk, but it's much more accessible if you run.
Very good. What requires more training, swimming or running?
I think I'm very lucky that I do both because I think they complement each other really well. I think the running when your muscles hurt and everything, and then you go for a swim and you feel like so good after because you've stretched and things. And I think training for the Glen Lyon Ultra, I've gotten so slow in the pool, it's embarrassing. I like go to training in the pool and they're like, you should be hitting those times. I'm like, I know, but it's all I've got in me. So I think they can help and hinder each other at the same time. So
you also told me you've done, is it a triathlon or several triathlons?
I've definitely done a few triathlons. And I do enjoy them. I think logistically they're very challenging.
Okay.
My triathletes have my utmost respect. They must be so organized to have their bike functional all the time. Like remember all the little things that you need. So I do enjoy it, but I think if somebody wanted to like keep my bike maintained for me, I'd be very grateful.
So a triathlon, it's a cycle. How far do you cycle?
Well, there's different distances, but they're all a swim, a bike, and a run. And then you do different distances. One, I think I've not gone way up the scale because my cycling's definitely not strong enough yet to go anywhere near the longer ones of those.
Okay, so you must be fit as a fiddle to do all these things. Here's a stupid question. What do you do to relax, or what do you ever have time to relax?
What do I do to relax? You go for a run, Willie. That's what you do. Like, you come back and you're like, right, what next? You sit down, you regroup, and you go again.
You never just sit down, put your feet up, put some music on, or watch the telly.
Oh, I mean, I'm all for that, but in small doses. I think I'm probably a very active person. I need to be doing something all the time.
So how often do you get to go swimming now if running, you're doing quite a lot of running?
Well, I swim for the Masters team, the one that were kind of based in Fraserburgh, train in Banff, and they've started training Peterhead. And when I was doing lots more running recently up to the Glen Lyon, I was just going to the Banff session like once a week, which is enough to keep it ticking over. And now like the running will be less intense, so I'll try and go to some more training sessions with the swimming club.
You must be a really good swimmer because you were telling me you qualified for British Masters.
Yeah, last year. That's it. That was I'd qualified a couple of years before, but it was like down south somewhere, and I remember thinking I could swim in that or go and swim in a race in Copenhagen for the same price of flights. So I was like, I'll go to Copenhagen and swim there. And then last year, the British Masters was being held like at the Sports Village in Aberdeen. And I was like, right, it's on my doorstep. I need to qualify this year and go because I've got no excuses. And so there's like a couple of galas that leading up to it that you try and swim the times you need to be able to qualify for it. And the first one went horribly. I was awful. I was going so slow and I just didn't have anything else. So that wasn't great. And then the other one was the Scottish Nationals, and that was down in Glasgow. I was like, right, I've got this one chance to get the times I need, and so that went much better, which was a relief.
So you qualified for the British Masters?
Yeah, so I was able to compete in I think six races there. So that was magic. Like like an atmosphere, and you see folk that are like well into their like 70s and 80s, like going up and swimming so fast, and I'm like, I want to be like that.
It's hope for me yet, then.
There you go, exactly. Take that swimming.
Well, a swim for me is just a duke, just to enjoy myself.
Well, everything counts.
Everything counts. Now, I'm amazed to hear you also do powerlifting.
I do, yeah. That's been a relatively new venture in the past couple of years, actually. and I really like it. Like I took it up when I got injured originally a couple of years ago. And I went and like saw the physio person. They were basically like, "You're fit, but you're really weak." I was like, "Okay." They're like, "You need to do something about that if you want to keep doing all the running and swimming and stuff." So I took that up and like never looked back. Like it's so good. I really enjoy it, and it's definitely made me so much stronger, which I've been able to see. Like I think injury wise, you don't get as much injuries and things.
Well, with the greatest respect, Jen, you don't look like a powerlifter.
And I do not blend in that gym at all. I have no idea what I'm going to and I'm like, okay, it's something. Funny.
Is this in Banff you do your powerlifting?
No, it's actually through Fochabers, which is a bit of a jaunt. However, like it's totally worth it, because it's so specific, and like I go and there's a couple of other girls I train with there, and like, oh my gosh, they're so strong. And I remember I'm beginning to like get better and kind of like it's the weights are creeping up. But when I first started, I was like looking at these girls being like, how are they lifting that much? Like what? So I'm in awe of people like that.
You excuse me. Do you have a coach for your powerlifting, or you and other girls just do things between you?
Yeah, I do, and he tells me what to do, and I'll do it, and so I never. The maths is really difficult. Like I should be better at the maths bit, but like calculating all the weights and stuff. So he just tells me what to put on and tells me how many times to do it, and that works.
Okay. So is the powerlifting, the swimming, and the running, are they sort of all tied in to make you a better, well, what do you are, a better athlete? They
I
all
think so.
complement each other, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, completely. They're all complementary of each other. I think it's probably a case of like jack of all trades, master of none, but I give them all a go. Like,
What's your motivation to keep doing all these to get better?
I think it is like I'm so grateful to be able to go and do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I keep telling myself. Like I am very lucky to have the time to be able to go and do that. And yeah, I think I enjoy it. Yeah, it's
That's the bottom line. A lot to be said for just enjoying it.
exactly. Like there's nothing else that you'd be like, right, Sunday morning, what are you gonna do? And in my head, I'm like, you go run. That's what these mornings are for. And then like after work on a day, it's like, what do you do now? I don't just sit down. You go to running club, you go to swimming club, and yeah.
I'm tired just listening to you.
I think see when I started like running club and swimming and things, like you meet all these folk that have their day job and like they enjoy that, but then you hear about the crazy amazing things they do, and I like admire those folks so much. I was like, oh, I want to be like that. Because like at the weekends you go and do these crazy events and things.
And then come back to work on Monday morning and just.
Exactly, and don't complain about it. They just get on with it, and I really admire that.
Mm-hmm. What's next for you then? Have you got a competition you really want to enter? Or what's your goal?
I think because building up to the Glen Lyon Ultra, my endurance went way up, obviously, because it had to. And I knew as a result of that, my speed was gonna drop, which it did, like across swimming and running. So I reckon a kind of sensible new goal is to kind of try and pick up the pace a bit now. Maybe towards like cross country will be towards the end of the year, winter time. Um, and around January, February is when the Masters kind of swimming galas start back again. So I'll try and pick up the pace.
In the meantime, just enjoy it, keep yourself fit as you can.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly, like stay healthy and don't get hurt.
So you're a young lady with plenty of strings to your bow. You're now opening an exhibition in September. You need to tell us all about this.
Oh, that's it. So I've got my own workshop now, Willie. It's very exciting.
Of course, this is in your spare time, Jen.
That's it. Gotta squeeze it all in somehow, you know?
Right,
Gotta
tell
keep
us all
busy.
about your new workshop.
It's in the grounds of Banff Castle, and which I've always wanted my own workshop. I mean, the school, like I teach woodwork and metalwork, as you know, and like those workshops are brilliant in school, but to have one of my own is my you can leave stuff out and it's like still in the exact same place when you go back to it. And I can leave it a mess and it doesn't matter. So yeah, I've been producing work to show at the Northeast Open Studios in September. So 9th of September to 17th, and I'll show you what I've been working on.
So, what can people expect when they come up to see this?
Lots of like contemporary woodwork, kind of homewares, combining kind of the traditional woodwork that I do, that I teach in school, but a much more kind of modern take on it.
Okay, and are all these pieces for sale, eh?
That's it. Yeah. Hopefully they find new homes.
we need to have a chat because my wife's been searching for, you know, the Ur Wally.
Oh yeah.
The Dungarees and spiky. She's been searching him for years for our front door and she can never find him. So maybe we just
Is
sprung
that
it.
the ones that were dotted around, like in all the different places for ages? The big ones.
We'll maybe need to get chat and get you busy making a new Wally from my
We'll
front door.
find time.
That's the one thing you find time. So this exhibition you're putting on, apart from it for the 7th of the 9th to the 17th, do you have your own website for us for selling pieces?
I do. Well, I kind of have a website that I'm going to use as a portfolio. So this is a very new venture. But I'm kind of using my kind of portfolio website and Instagram as my main kind of places to show what I'm working on just now.
Do you want to give your website a quick plug for anybody that wants to go
Well,
on?
since it's currently like just a holding, I'll give you my Instagram, which is jenhumphreys.design, and there I'm kind of keeping track of all the projects that I'm working on. And then my website, which is just jenhumphreys.com, that'll have hopefully photos of all the finished pieces soon.
Fantastic. So you'll be excited, looking forward to that, are you?
Yeah, it really is. It's something different. I think in school we're always making pieces that tick all the boxes for what the kids need to work on, you know. So this is my own little adventure.
And the things you're making, are you expressing you as a person through these things?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't produce something I wouldn't happily have in my own house.
Okay. Very good.
That's the standard.
So we'll look forward to seeing these things.
Oh, I hope so.
So you're saying you're a teacher. What inspired you to become a teacher?
Um, when I left uni and worked in industry for a while, they were struggling to kind of get apprentices, or apprentices that had the kind of getting there on time, working hard, great kind of attitude type thing. So I thought, well, I'd always considered teaching as an option, and perhaps I could do something to help that. And I really like it.
You've
It's
enjoyed
good laugh.
good. What's the downside about teaching?
Oh, what's the downside? Um, you know what? I genuinely don't think there is a downside to it. I think it's every day is totally different, and I think that's something to be completely valued. And the kids are great. You get them in, you get them busy. They're doing things they might not have done before, and yeah, there's never a dull moment at Fraserburgh Academy.
That's for sure. So there's no downside. What makes you really happy with your teaching? Somebody finishing a project, in a great job, or what makes you really happy with your teaching?
See when you like you set everybody a task and then you just look up and everybody's busy working away and like enjoying themselves and like helping each other out and things. I think that's really something special, and you think, oh yeah, I was able to facilitate that.
Aye, and that gives you great pleasure seeing them all. It must give you great satisfaction seeing a piece of wood you give them instruction and they turn into something beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And especially when it's like something you've shown them before, and then they're able to go off and remember what they've been taught and go off and do it really well. And you think, proud.
Do you ever get ex-pupils that's now left school saying, "Hello, Jen, I really enjoyed your woodwork classes or your metalwork classes"?
They definitely, I'm not sure they use those exact words, but I'd like them to start doing that. But it's really nice when you see them like out and about, and I think a lot of them like might be in an industry now where we were able to teach them basic skills that help them get into that industry or something. And that's always really special. I take that as an honor to have helped them along the way.
So, as a teacher, what is your hopes for yourself for a teacher? Carry on doing what you're doing, or do you have other goals?
I will happily continue doing what I'm doing. I'm very content. So I think just keep doing what I'm doing.
Very good. So we're going to finish off just a couple of quick questions.
Yeah.
Just a wee insight in Jen. And the first one might be totally irrelevant.
Okay.
On a Saturday night when you've got 10 minutes to yourself, Jen, and you're eating, maybe you're going to take it with you, prefer Indian or Chinese? Well, what would you go for?
Willie, I can't remember the last time I had an Indian or Chinese takeaway.
So, are you a good cook?
I mean I cook a lot. I don't know if I'd be described as a good cook. I'm more I need to eat, so I need to cook. But I honestly cannot remember. The kids in school, they'd be slagging me off for that as well.
Right. You get up on Sunday morning, it is a beautiful day, you're not running, you're not powerlifting, and you're not swimming. Describe what an ideal Sunday would be for you, if you had the time to do it, of course.
I'll
Without
take my
running,
dog
swimming,
up
or
a
walking.
hill. That's what I did this morning. I took my dog up a hill, so
Okay.
that's yeah, didn't run, so it's not counts.
Kind of dog you got, Jen?
A wire-haired dachshund, so he's just little.
Oh, okay. You've always been a pet lover, have you?
I mean, I grew up with dogs, so yeah, I guess so. But my brother equally grew up with dogs too, and he hates dogs. So
Oh, does he?
yeah, it's really
Oh, wow.
sad.
So, how often do you get back down to St Andrews?
My parents have actually just moved up to Ellen this past year, which is really exciting. So they both retired and decided to come to the north where I am and my brother is.
So, I mean, there's lots of good. The Northeast is a great place to bide.
Exactly, that's it. I really like it. Like I when I first moved up to Fraserburgh, that was as a probation teacher. So you know when you get placed somewhere for a year, and I had nowhere to be. So I was like, this is grand, let's make the most of it. And I think having that attitude meant you took advantage of every opportunity up here, and you saw how beautiful it was, you saw how like fab all the people are and things. So yeah, I agree.
So that's exciting for your parents biding in Ellen. How are they getting on?
They love it there. Yeah, they really do. I think St Andrews was good, and it was nice to grow up there and things. But they love their children, so
You mean they love their son?
yeah, they're closer to him. So
Father's brother bide.
Aberdeen.
Oh, okay. So obviously St Andrews, you tied it in with golf. You once told me you tried it as a youngster.
That's it. A mandatory part. You'll be proud of me. I was hopeless at it, but I liked. Where's the bit where you went and just hit all the balls one after the other?
Oh, the driving range.
Yeah, I like that. Because
Okay.
then you don't have to walk after it and follow it.
Well, I thought you'd been great with golf, hitting the ball and running after it, and walking after it, running on the course.
Yeah, I don't think I had the patience for golf. Like it's all very precise, and I just want to whack it. I'm sure you'd like look at my technique and think it's awful.
Well, at the end of the day, golf is like any other sport. If you enjoyed it, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. If you enjoy it, that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Good exercise as well. Great social sport.
Yeah, and I guess it's the same, isn't it? Any sport is you're kind of meeting folk with that in common and things. So got to make the most of it as well.
You say you're a swimmer. Do you ever swim in the sea here?
I do, yes. I really enjoy the open water like races and things. That's something that I always make an effort to sign up to those each year. So um because I live through in Ladiesbridge, I often go to Sandend as kind of our nearest
Oh,
bit. The link is quite open and exposed, but
Mhm.
Sandend's magic.
Is that a wetsuit job or just shorts and a t-shirt?
Wetsuit. I'm not that hardcore to go in
Big girl's
without.
blouse.
I know. It's
Me and my
not
wife,
tough, you know?
you girl's blouse. Me and my wife were out yesterday visiting my mother, and I come home. We went down to the beach to have our lunch,
Yeah.
and there was happily three of the Frisbee football players swimming around the sea with no wetsuits, quite happy.
So brave. I think I've done it once over in Fraserburgh and it was genuinely great. But you know when you go further out and then you hit a bit of cold water and it was freezing.
Well, I wouldn't know because there's no way you'll get me in cold water. I'm a 40-degree hot tub man.
Oh,
I don't like cold water or cold weather. I like heat.
that's fair enough. Got to stick to what you enjoy.
Right, you got a young girl come up and you say, Jen, I really want to get into sport. What would you
Mhm.
advise? What would you say to her?
To do it. I think lots of folk will sit and think about it and kind of say they're going to do it, and the reality is the only way you get started is by getting on with it. So go and either find like-minded people and join like the running club or something, or swimming club, and I think having all the people around you that are doing that same thing
Mhm.
motivates you. But yeah, I think people just, if you get on with it, then you think, oh, this is enjoyable now.
Just make that first step sometimes is the hardest bit to start, isn't it?
It is. The reason I kind of took up running was also because I remember my mum phoning me being like, "Oh, I've started running." I was like, "What?" Like my mum can't become fitter than I am. So you also need that little external push, I think.
Well, send your mum's run. Do you ever get out running with mum?
Yeah, sometimes. And she'll always say, "Oh, you're too fast to run with me," but she doesn't realize that I just enjoy trotting along. So it doesn't matter what pace we're going at. Just happy to be outside.
Trotting along, singing a song.
Yeah. How having is this, Ollie?
So apart from golf, any other sports you've tried that you didn't stick at?
I didn't stick at. Oh, I feel like I've given loads of them a go. I think cycling's always something that I would be like, oh, I'd like to get good at that, but the having to look after a bike and make sure your tires are pumped up. Like, if you want to go for a run, you just get some trainers or go for a swim, get your togs. You know what I mean?
As you
It's
said, it's free.
mhm, that's it.
Uh,
So yeah, I'd like to get better at cycling. And what else? What other sports are there?
Fitbar. Have you ever tried Fitbar?
Oh, I've never like I don't know anything about football. I've never been to a football match. I've never like I don't know how many players are in a football team, Willie. You'd be ashamed of me.
Nah, you put me to shame with
I
your
can't believe I
sports.
admitted that to you.
We'll need to get you down to a Brock match and show you about
Oh,
Fitbar.
that's a deal. Okay.
You want
And
to go?
I don't know who everybody is, so I'll have to learn.
I'll invite you down to a Brock match and you can come down and watch the Brock in action.
Okay, I'll take you up on that offer, and you'll be ashamed. You'll be like, I don't know her. How many people are in a team though? Like, I genuinely don't know.
We'll take a guess.
Like, like 10 or something? 10? 11?
Well, you start the game with 11.
Okay, start. Does it
Start
finish
the game,
differently?
but you can make substitutes. You can take players on and players off.
Oh, see, there's a whole world of football that see the kids in school, they try and tell me about this
Mhm.
and educate me. But it's clearly not working yet.
Thing is, Jen, sport takes time, and you can't be doing everything.
Exactly. Yep. But I have full appreciation for all sports. They are all equally as challenging and need the same amount of effort, don't they? So
Absolutely. I just wish some sports when it may be quite so dear to stop folk from even trying them. And initially to get equipment, some sports can be quite expensive.
yeah, agreed. I think that must put a lot of like folk off, like especially swimming. I think swimming is probably one of the more expensive ones, isn't it? And I don't know about golf. Like I guess you need clubs and things, whereas like football, you just need a football and like a playing field type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and I think it is important for like the younger folk to be active and be sporty.
And I know there's so much great clubs that takes kids in pretty much almost free of charge to get them started, to get a taste. I
Yeah,
think the young sports coaches spread all over Scotland who are doing a fantastic job. And
that's it.
I would like to see maybe the government funding a wee bit more for them to help more kids get in.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess there's more important things in life at the moment than government funding kids' sports.
I think that's a shame though, isn't it? Like there definitely needs to get more because I think you learn so much, not just about the sports, but just about yourself doing sports. Like you'll like the kids would learn kind of like self-discipline and patience and all those little things that you might not directly think are involved in hitting a golf ball, but like, all things you need to be getting good at it, you know?
So the message is just get out there and go and do it and enjoy yourself.
Exactly.
That's Jen's message. Get out
My
there and enjoy yourself.
whiteboard.
Right, Jen, we're almost out of time, I'm afraid. But just before you go and get your website on your Instagram, another plug before we finish, just in case anyone missed it first time round.
Okay. Yeah, so my Instagram is jenhumphreys.design and my website, which will have more on it sooner rather than later, is jenhumphreys.com. But I do a lot of my sporting tracking stuff on Strava, and that's just Jen Humphreys.
Okay. And your exhibition is the 9th to the 17th of September in Banff Castle.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right, Jen, thank you very much for coming on. It's been great to hear you, but I'm quite tired now after listening to you. I need to go and lie down for half an hour.
You're gonna go back to your hot tub now, Willie.
Well, maybe, but I have no doubt I'll bump into you at some point at school tomorrow.
Yep, absolutely. It
Okay.
was a pleasure talking to you.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, and I'm sure some of the pupils who might see us because it goes out on YouTube as well might give you a little wind up tomorrow.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
You can cope with that, Jen.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right, take care. I think you've inspired me. I think I'll go away for a run after I edit all this videos. I might go out for a
Well,
right.
enjoy it.
Well, take care, Jen. Thanks very much.
See you later, Willie. Bye.
All right, thank you. Hello, thank you for watching my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned, there'll be plenty more good episodes to come. If you would like to join me on the podcast or nominate somebody who would like to see on the podcast, get in touch. You can get me on social media, you can get me on YouTube, you can phone me. My phone number's across the screen. It is 07904 756 332. I would also like if you could subscribe to my channel. That'll help the channel grow. And smash the bell. If you hit the bell, that'll give you notifications every time an episode's uploaded. So as I say, if you want to join me on the podcast, feel free to get in touch. I look forward to speaking to you, and hopefully you'll keep watching the podcast. There will be loads more good guests to come. Thank you very much. Fitlike.